Welcome to the Glamourus podcast, a space centering the refined, cultured, and connected Black American woman. Thanks so much for joining me today. Let's get into it. In her acceptance speech, we have to remember that Claudine proudly noted that her parents were immigrants from Haiti, not immigrants from a land called Black. She also did not state that they were Black immigrants. She said that they were Haitian immigrants. Claudine and many other children of immigrants, especially before this thing we're in that I'm going to call the delineation era, they've been very, very proud to boast that they are not like the American Negroes. I recall them saying, "Me no black, I'm this." Well, in Claudine's case, her parents and her ancestors, they actually are not black. They come from this island called Haiti, a place where most people speak French. And so they don't even use the word black. They would use the word noir if they're referring to a color. And then when they're talking about black, they're typically referring to the Black Americans, the Black people on the mainland, the Black people in the United States. They do not even say Negro down there or Negro, and they share an island with the Dominicans, and they wouldn't even be saying Negro like we say in the United States. So this whole thing of black, etc., really has nothing to do with her, and she's very aware of that, which is why she led with her being the daughter of Haitian immigrants. Also in Haiti, they identify as Creoles, Haitians, and Frenchmen. It's not until Claudine and a lot of other foreigners with the Negroid phenotype are immersed in the United States that they encounter this social construct of blackness. I mean, if you come from a place where everybody is pretty much brown, like, what does being brown skinned or having a Negroid phenotype mean to you if everyone is like that? Being different is only distinguished if there is another thing that varies from what you are. But if everybody is the same, you don't have to deal with the race as we deal with it. Now, I also want to highlight that what I just said is that it's not until Claudine and other foreigners with the Negroid phenotype become immersed in the United States that they start to encounter this social construct of the United States called black. Because on their way to the United States, they receive all sorts of privileges that American Negroes do not receive. Some of those benefits include refugee status, which comes with those government dollars, what we call that good welfare, as well as other immigrant-only perks, like a whole fresh credit profile. Access to grants and loans. And depending on what your status is, some of these people can't even be arrested by United States agencies. They are often foreign nationals, so if they get into some sort of criminal enterprise, you have to go to I believe it's called a consular court. And so a lot of them, if when they are committing crime, they are not subject to the same treatment that we as American Negro citizens are. And so this preferential treatment and welcome package historically has propelled many of these welfare beneficiaries to claim that racism doesn't exist. I mean, they're getting a welcome package. So the African Americans, y'all need to stop complaining. And my favorite one, that black people are lazy. So clearly they have been noting that they are not black people. They are other people. Well, my, oh my, have the tides changed. Claudine is now black. I mean, she's blackety black. She's so black that she is claiming, as she says, racial animus is the sole reason why she has come under scrutiny. Now, it couldn't be that she straight up plagiarized Auntie Carol Swain, and it couldn't be that she bit the hand that feeds her with some of her comments against, I'm sure, people who are of the lineage of people who donate to that Harvard endowment. You see, Claudine had a strategy that I've seen a lot of Caribbeans use after they become baptized in the shallow waters of white progressive and liberal ideology, they start to really believe that they are socially white. And many of them actually are white on their government papers, like Enrique Tarrio, the defamed leader of the Proud Boys, Jocelyn Hernandez, the reality TV smut queen, and Stacey Dash, the former star of the Clueless movie. All three of those people have white on their race. And so when they start to encounter this construct of blackness, sometimes they get confused. But what all of them have to remember is that if you are of the Negroid phenotype, you do not get a white social pass. You see, Claudine was feeling all of the privileges that her parents were afforded from the United States government when they fled their homeland of Haiti. Being able to skip over American slavery, Jim Crow, segregation, malicious propaganda, redlining, and all the drug epidemics, and disinvestment, only to be receiving and be welcomed with access to education, welfare, and preferential treatment. She felt that she had her rights like a white Southerner. She was like, I'm very white, and I'm going to say whatever, and what are you going to do about it? You've been treating me well all this time, and I have done your bidding against these Negroes. Well, like many other Caribbeans, when that illusion of I'm better than black wears off, Claudine magically became black. I mean, super black with my black fist emoji. It's also key that we realize that there's a little game that many of these educational institutions have been playing. They do not want black Americans in their space. So they welcome Caribbeans, contemporary Africans, or Afro-Hispanics. Sometimes even a red dot Indian will do. Like y'all first quote-unquote black female VP, Kamala Devi Harish, anglicized Harris, who I call Lotus Flower. And these four melanated people happily accept the token Negro spot. Well, until the novelty of tokenism wears off. We also have to remember in this case that Claudine was hired post-George Floyd protest, aka the fake racial reckoning. You see, and I ain't gonna never forget this, but for a brief time, and I just couldn't believe it, but for a very brief time, from 2020 up until like early 2023, anybody who could pass for black, you could get a prayer through. I mean, corporations was like, we want to give free money. We need to hire some black people. And a lot of these black passing people, non-American Negroes, were able to get positions. They were like right in line. And since they're already playing that game, but we don't really want the real black people, but we'll take a black passing. These Claudine gays were like, me, pick me, pick me. Well, as 2023 went on, that window of opportunity closed abruptly. Real quick, real fast. And many of these institutions, they have reimagined diversity as Hispanic, Asian, white women, and non-heterosexuals. You remember just like it used to be. So her novelty of being a black passing Haitian has rubbed off. But she will never concede to that truth. She ain't going to admit that. She won't admit it. Instead, she's going to claim that her disgrace is because of race. But how is it going to be because of race? But wait a minute. It was because of race, or how she framed it, quote, this moment in time, unquote, in wink wink, that she was granted the job. It was the moment in time that this pseudo racial reckoning was happening that that opportunity even opened up for her. And that moment of time was due to the legacy, the suffering, the trials and the tribulations, the achievement, and everything that black Americans have done, that the spot was even opened and that anybody would even care. So as we head into 2020, it is my pleasure to delineate, or rather distinguish, the legacy of the American Negro woman from these opportunistic parasites. You see, in our tradition, American Negroes, we take our firsts very seriously. Because of anti-black terrorism, which people have euphemized as racism, We strategize to meet the mark of the high calling of the noble American race. It's not a game to us. This is bloodline business whenever we become a first. And as our ancestors used to say, I hope to be a credit to my race. So for someone who was given everything when they came here, they're allowed to cut and paste themselves on someone else's legacy. This first is just another thing for self-promotion. To steal from a Black American woman, Carol Swain, who came up, who got it from the mud, whose work, as she says, is seminal to the framework that Claudine used to propel her career, to rob her of being credited from that. And then not only are you cosplaying us low-key, even though she said she was Haitian, so you have to give her respect for that, but you are filling the quote-unquote Black spot. You're not even doing it with dignity and grace, which is very problematic, which is why we are in this era of delineation, because it's one thing to cut and paste yourself onto my legacy in this moment. And it makes it even worse when you just disgrace it and frame us for your bad behavior and really just soil our name. So this was just a little long reminder that we ain't all Black. Welcome to the era of delineation and the reclamation of the honorable legacy of the American Negro. Now, if you enjoy this, I'm going to need you to subscribe. What are you waiting for? Go ahead and subscribe. Let's get to know each other and let's keep these conversations going. Come chat with me in the comments. I want to hear how you feel about the Claudine Gay. Are you in one of these private white institutions and you've seen this happen? Are you a Caribbean? How do you feel about this? And what are you hearing other people say? What do you plan on doing to prevent, these type of things from happening if, you work in academia or on your job where we have all of these people coming and pretending to be us and then doing these sorts of disgraceful things? And what do you think about Black American First? Did you have any Black American First? Are you the first something? And if you were a person to open doors, how did you feel when you were doing that? Were you selfish or were you thinking about our race, our group? So come comment with me. Make sure you subscribe and make sure that you like and share. If you have a platform, share this. And I will definitely get with you in the next video. And also go visit the website. It is in progress. I'm getting to it. And it will be posted. And you want to make sure that you subscribe to that mailing list. I hope that you are blessed. I hope that you are prosperous and take care and be well.